All right, I think we're a little high at this moment, but we'll try and still land the plane.
Sync rate.
There we go.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain. Let's unbox the Echo Aviation Controller. I ordered mine from the Honeycomb website. It took about a few days for me to get hands on it. Here we are. Let's open the box. Let's see what's inside the box. Inside the box, you have this protective case, and it feels nice. It feels solid. So in case if you're traveling somewhere with this case in your bag, it should protect your controller and keep it safe from being damaged. Once you open the controller, it's got a nice clicky zip. I don't think so it is splash proof or waterproof, but yeah, once you open it, you will see your controller. If you have played PlayStation or Xbox before, then it has similar feel. The buttons are good, the hat switch is good, there are enough switches, so when you fly a plane, whatever you want to map, you could map on it. Now, coming to the thrust levers. The thrust lever, you increase the thrust levers, you take them full, and once you retard them, there is a click, and that's where you set the reverse thrust option. It's a really nice feature, and it's there on all four. So if you're flying a 747, I think that should work for you. Coming down to the flap, nice clicky switch, flaps up, flaps down. On the left, landing gear up, landing gear down. Now, parking brake, this is where it hasn't worked for me on the PMDG 777. I don't know why. I've tried everything. We'll see in the video next. You have a wireless dongle, and you can connect it when you're flying. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this flight without the cable. I fly the 777, so for me, I'm going to install my spoilers or the speed brakes on the left of the thrust lever. And it works really well, and it's quite handy in case you want to add drag to your flight. Comes with a cable as well. My first time, I connected it with a cable because that was needed for me to transfer and install a few updates. So let's get started. Let's fire up the flight simulator. And once we have the Microsoft Flight Simulator running and it's trying to load, a good idea to go to the Honeycomb website and install these two files. One is update for the controller, and the second is update for the dongle. Once you have this, hop in back into your flight simulator and then go onto your control options. And this is where you start mapping all the controls that you need, thrust reversers, flaps, and everything. For me, I thought Honeycomb would have done it already, but yes, they did it, but it's for the MSFS 2024. And if you're like me on 2020, then keep watching and see how to map it. And I'm going to save some time for you, because I was really frustrated mapping this. And then finally, I got on hang of this video. I watched this video, and this video kind of made things easy for me.
As soon as I'd like. Let's do the same for spoiler.
All right, so let's go through the mapping that I've done for my aviation controller. Now let's start with flight control surfaces. I go to the primary control. You see there is a rudder, which is behind. So if I do my rudder axis, right, left, you might have to reverse this axis here. You'll have to play a bit to see how this whole thing works for you. It's a little bit of trial and error, but it works. This is my left, this is my right. Then I have the elevator axis as well. That works. Now for the second control trimming surfaces, which is here, I have the elevator trim up and elevator trim down. Now it's not the way you would do it in an airplane, because it's one push, but probably it would be nice if I could hold it, but this is what it is. And in secondary, so if I do this, I can extend, I can retract, and then in the same one I could, if you see number 18 is increase flaps and decrease flaps. So these basically are good enough for you if you want to start with just a basic flight and enjoy this controller with it. This is where I've been finding it very tricky. I have a right brake, I have a left brake. That's easy, you can set it. Now I have a parking brake here. It says parking brake on, but actually, okay, so this parking brake off, parking brake on. Now it works here, well, it doesn't work for me. So if you're watching this video and you know a way work around this, please let me know. So brakes are done. Now this is power management. this is where you assign the reverse thrust. Now you see throttle 1, you need to select throttle 1 axis. So this is throttle 1 axis, you see, yeah, that works. Then same goes with throttle 2, okay. And then you have, this is a reverse thrust, okay, and they work fantastic, yeah. Landing gear is straightforward, gear up 13, gear down, and this is again fantastic the way it should work in the airplane. Let's hop on to the PMDG 777. I'll show you what's happening with the parking brake and also show you the rest of the controls. So we are in the 777 cockpit. Now the hat switch is, what I have programmed is very simple. Left, right, up, like it goes one level up, one level down. And then this lower button is where if I click, it comes back to its normal where it started from. Now it's doing something damn weird, but I programmed it to come to reset view actually. So I think what's causing a problem is I have my IR tracker. If I'm going to disable this, I say reset position. And now if I go further right and I say reset position, yeah, there we go. So it started working. Now coming back to the flight control, very easy. Left, right, forward, back, and look at the rudders. I press right, the switch behind, press left, and it works as desired. Now coming back here to the throttle quadrant, as we call it, I have my speed brakes. There you go, speed brakes are done. Now only thing, again, what I haven't been able to do is arm the speed brakes. So I'd like to do that before landing. So if I do this, nothing. If I come halfway, it actually deploys. It doesn't really arm the speed brake. So that's another fix that I'm looking for. If you find it, let me know. And so here we go with the thrust levers, the left, the right, and now the magic, the lock, thrust reversers. If you see here, both reversers are deployed. I press back again, and thrust reversers are stored again. And you saw the one with flaps. So I'm going to change the view a little here. Let's have a look at the flaps. Flap 15, flap 20, and back again to flap 5. Now the pain point, what I have is parking brake. So no matter what I do, nothing really changes. And I didn't see this on a PMDG. It's just with most of the airplanes that I've tried. So I have no clue how I can fix it. So like I said, if you are watching this, if you know how, if you fixed it, or if Honeycomb's watching, if they know any fix on this, please let me know. I programmed this button to look outside, and then the same hat switch works as for me if I want to take a shot, some shots like these. And then back in the cockpit, and then back I press the reset, and I'm ready for takeoff and landing. So let's do a thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do one full circuit in Seychelles with just the controller, leveling off at 1600 feet, and let's see if it's fun to fly this and how it works. I'm going to take the auto throttle off, flight directors off. I've set 1600 for a circuit altitude, and we're going to fly the entire circuit raw data with just this controller. Okay, let's see how that goes. The airplane is rolling a bit, and I'm going to set my thrust now. There we go. So the idea is to use and have as much as fun with the controller and see how it works flying a raw data circuit. So I'm pressing the rudder. It feels really nice. Very little touch on the rudder, and you can see the way it tracks the center line. Okay, I don't have, okay, that was a little too much. I don't have speeds. So end of the runway, I'm going to rotate now. That was not the best, but yeah, it's 15 degrees. Rotation, runway track, positive rate, gear up. You can see the gear going up while I press this, so that is superb. So it's already showing alt. I'm going to try pushing it down and slightly get the thrust back so we level off at 1600 feet. And there we go, 1600 feet raw data. The speed is increasing, that means my thrust is more. I'm going to reduce it a bit, and I'm going to dial my speed back to flap 5, turning left for a left circuit. Alright, I've climbed 1600, small adjustments to get it down back. Now this is where I don't know how good is the trim. Okay, if you see the trim switches at the left corner of the screen, yeah, they work, but it's not the best. I mean, I would want it to be pressed so I could really give a little more and try to get it level. She looks good. One click on the trim again, wait and watch. Slight more thrust, speed's dropping, we're climbing. Okay, I'm gonna push her down. It's nice and delicate. I've set the sensitivity to low, but maybe I need to tweak it further to get the desired results. 1600 feet, right on track, parallel to the runway. I think that's pitch is good. If you see, I'm flying parallel to the runway now. So runway is basically on my left, and I have the rings for 3 nautical mile and 5 nautical mile as a reference. There we go. Hat switch doing its best. Back into the cockpit. 1600 feet, a little zoom. Good, I'm gonna drop down flap 15, add a little thrust, and try and get the speed down to flap 15 Mach speed. So there we go, 160 for now. I don't have much time with the controller, so I don't want to sound overconfident and try and do something I shouldn't. Give a good 25-degree bank and try and hold it with the pitch. Okay, look at that, she's descending. So I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna drop flaps 20. Okay, I'm gonna drop the gear. There we go, flaps 20. So basically 5 miles, I should have been 1500. So I'm a little low, so I'm going to correct myself and try and level off. Try not to climb, 1100 is good. This is a good turn. A nice scenery of Seychelles in the morning. Flaps 25. Get my speed down. Trying to adjust a bit the thrust. Okay, almost aligned with the runway. I got to maintain a nice shallow rate of descent so I can line up. I know the speed's high, the flaps are coming in right now. I'm going to correct my thrust. Once you get used to the auto throttle, it's a lazy job, but once you get hands-on with raw data, there's so much you need to do. To keep the runway on maybe the center of the screen or the aiming marker and keep flying it down at a very shallow rate of descent. Monitoring the speeds as well. Speed's a little low, so I'm going to give it a little nudge. Alright, I think we're a little high at this moment, but we'll try and still land the plane. There we go.
50, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, so I'm going to use the rudder. There we go, I've deployed the reverse thrust. You saw what I did with the button. I'm going to use brakes, and the brakes are there. Little rudder, reaching 60 knots. and then keep applying brakes to get her to a full stop. And that's it. A nice raw data. Could have been better. First time on the controller. Flying the mighty PMDG 777 with the Echo Aviation controller. I love it. What are your thoughts? Let me know what you think. And yes, I'm still not so happy with the parking brake. That doesn't work on this. But if you get a fix, let me know. Once again, thank you for watching. This is the Captain signing out.